Now, wait a minute. I'd like to propose a toast to my family. Someday soon, you're gonna have families of your own. And if you're lucky, you remember the little moments. Like this. That were good. Cheers.
It's so good. Hey, buddies. This is Steve Simeone, and I'm hanging out with my pal, Mr. Lee Syatt.
Hi, Steve.
And you're listening to Good Times with Steve Simeone. We just got done hanging out with Maz. That was fun, huh?
It was. Oh my god, it's always nice because I had known of Maz. I could be saying the wrong Friday movie, whatever Friday movie he was in.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, he came out. I was probably in high school, maybe beginning of college. I doubt it, but it was hysterical, and it's always that was the second time I've gotten to meet him, and it's always nice when someone like that.
He's so nice. Yeah, he's so cool. I'm so happy that we had him on here.
Oh yeah,
I ran into because yesterday I flew back from Indy, and he was on my shuttle back to the parking lot. I was like,
no
"Is that
way.
Yeah, that's Maz." And then he was telling me about his new movie, and I was like, "Well, you come on Good Times to promote it, and it's perfect because he's like such a good person to have as a guest too."
Oh yeah, I mean he's very popular, especially it's interesting, and we talked about it on the episode of him, just the amount of what he means to Iranian audiences.
Yeah,
and it's how huge and popular he is, and how he's like a spokesperson for an entire, I don't know if you want to say race or whatever you want to say, but
it's like
nationality.
I think it's just really cool. And we hit on this a little bit, but then you and I talked about it as soon as Maz left. That's usually like how because it's like you always think of stuff you should have said afterwards.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, how cool is that he's now that example that he didn't have when he was 8 years old or 9 years old, you know? He's like super cool, funny dude.
Yeah. And it must be kind of trippy to look back on it and still see yourself as an 8 or 9 year old. And then now he just made a movie.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Awesome.
So how was Indy?
Wonderful. Guys, I'm so thankful to all you guys that came out and traveled so far. Lee, there was people that drove from Peoria, from Chicago. One guy drove all the way from Oklahoma. It was like over 10 hours. Another couple came all the way and they brought me cheesecake too. Came all the way from Michigan. I mean, people drove they made a hike to come hang.
That's so nice of them.
Yeah, and then my buddy Peyton, she drew me the best picture ever, and I think I might turn it into a T-shirt.
You might have. That was a pretty great picture.
Yeah, for Good Times.
For that, and then you got a cake shake, which is amazing.
Yes, the best.
I'm just so jealous. Those cake shakes are.
Plus, I ate at Steak and Shake when I was there.
How was it?
So delicious. Whenever I go to the Midwest, I ate at Steak and Shake because when I first went on tour with Pauly Shore like 15 years ago, he said he brought me to the Midwest, and he was like, that was the first tour Sam Kinison brought him on. And he said as soon as Sam Kinison got to the Midwest, he'd go to Steak and Shake. So that's what we always did. So now whenever I'm in the Midwest, I always go to Steak and Shake.
You're starting a tradition. Like you're keeping it
Well, it's
going.
one from Kinison to Pauly to me.
That's really fun.
Yeah, it is.
So
cool.
do you think about it every time you're there? You're like, oh.
Yes. Because, yeah, for sure. I do.
How old were you when you went with Pauly? Do you remember?
I was like your age.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Right at the beginning of comedy?
Yeah, like I first started just selling his T-shirts on the road. He wouldn't let me do comedy.
Really?
Yeah. He would just be like, you could sell the shirts. I was like, okie doke.
Just to be there and be involved.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, you're going to be on the road with him soon.
Oh, yeah. It'll be the weekend this comes out.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then, I think if we'll release this early on Sunday, so anybody listening can come to the shows in Tacoma. And then, like the 18th through the 22nd, I'm gonna be in Edmonton.
Very cool.
That's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna do shows Wednesday through Sunday night in Edmonton, and then I guess it'll be Wednesday the 25th. They're telling me I'm gonna tape season 3 of This Is Not Happening for Comedy Central. So if you guys want tickets to see that, I'm gonna do the Wednesday night show, the second show Wednesday on the 25th. And I want to make sure all you guys are there because you were there last year and it made me do so much better. I wasn't nervous because I knew so many people in the audience. They're like, "Hey, buddy," and I was like, "There's my pals." It makes it easier.
Yeah, we're just hanging out with your buddies.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun. So that's 2 seasons in a row. That's
Yeah.
a fun. If you haven't been to see that show live, it's a lot different than and not that the TV show version is bad, but it's just different because it's not the same lineup you're gonna see on the show, and then you get to see the full show.
Oh, and that's the other thing.
Stories.
The full version of my story just came out on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's out there, guys. The one I told on season 2 of This Is Not Happening. So that's the coolest thing. That Ari does make sure that the best version of that gets, because that's where really everybody's going to watch it anyways, YouTube.
Right, a lot of people, and it's just a longer version of it, so they don't have to cut out any of the stuff for time, and it's the way
It's
you
great.
wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. Yeah, so that's going to be on Wednesday the 25th. On Thursday the 26th, we're doing a fundraiser at the Comedy Store for Regular Hero to support all the work we do with the kids. It's not set in stone, but I'm going to let you guys know what it looks like. We're going to have Dane Cook and Bill Burr co-headline. Well, yeah, we're going to have 2 huge comics. And that would be Thursday the 26th. I have friends that are friends with those guys. So it's only going to be a $20 ticket. Tell your friends. Go online, get tickets for the 26th. And then, like I said, Edmonton. It'll be the 18th through the 22nd at Rick Bronson's Comedy Club and at the mall right there in Edmonton. Very excited. A lot of good stuff's happening. And then as soon as I'm in town in June, I'll start coming out with Good Times every week, buddies. I'm sorry that we're doing every other week, but I'm just so busy. And that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lee, let's get into this episode with Maz, and then we'll come back with our gratitude list, give a shout out to some of our sponsors, and that's it.
Once we had an easy ride and always felt the same. Time was on our side.
Because the mics work now?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then we'll do an intro
Let's just
later.
go, man.
Yeah, we'll
just do it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, man.
I was so happy to see you yesterday. That was like a perfect random moment. I was like, I think that might be Maz.
Yeah.
And then I did that creepy thing where I was trying to look under your hat
That's
like this,
funny.
and I was like, it is Maz. It is Maz.
I think we're also, at least I am, with my head in my phone. The head's down. You can't see anybody.
Yeah. Plus, you had your hat like perfect celebrity style, so
Oh,
you couldn't
yeah.
really see your face.
That's just how it fits. I think my head was made to be a celebrity. The rest of my body's catching up.
So, speaking of celebrities, you have a new film out.
Yeah, man. I got a film out. It's called Jimmy Westwood, American Hero.
Awesome.
And the reason it's Westwood is because he lives in Westwood.
Yes.
But Iranians can't pronounce their W, so they say V instead of W. So it's Westwood.
That's awesome.
Jimmy Westwood, American Hero. I describe it as the Persian Pink Panther meets Borat.
Oh my gosh, that's just right there. You got me hooked.
Yeah, it's a silly, over-the-top comedy. It's about this guy in Iran who loves America, and he loves American movies, and he loves Steve McQueen from the movie Bullet.
Fantastic.
So he wants to be a cop. He wants,
so awesome.
he wants to move to America, be a cool cop like McQueen was. But
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
That's fantastic.
Right? And so he wins the green card lottery to come to America. There actually is such a thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so he wins the green card lottery at the beginning of the movie to come to America. And once he gets here, he thinks he's going to be, a cop. But then once he gets to America, he realizes that, 21st century America is not
the bullet years anymore.
not as embracing as it used to be.
Oh, wow.
So he ends up with a job working as a security guard at a Persian grocery store.
That's awesome.
And then somehow he stumbles his way into this plot to start World War III. And he's got to save the world from there.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it's this fun, silly comedy. The tagline is heroes aren't born, they're imported.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. And I've wanted to, since I'm an Iranian American, I've always wanted to do like a Peter Sellers-y type Pink Panther movie.
Peter Sellers, genius.
Amazing,
Between
right?
Pink Panther and Being There, like that level of comedy, he worked on so many different levels.
Yeah.
And I think silly comedy, when it's done right,
Yeah.
is the funniest. It's such a difficult balance.
It is,
Because if it's
dude.
too broad, it's not funny.
Yeah.
If it's not silly enough, it's like, what are you doing? It's
Yeah.
like when you can hit that note, it buckles me.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff that we shot that I thought, oh, this is gonna be amazing, and then we saw it in the edit, and I was like, it doesn't quite work out. Like exactly what you just said.
If it's off a little bit.
Yeah. So, but we came up with, I think, a fun, silly movie. We actually got into the Austin Film Festival.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, we won the best comedy jury as well as audience.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so it was good, man. Some good stuff. And so it's finally coming out. I feel like I come in and out with the sound. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, the levels are fine.
Okay.
All right.
So I
It might just be our headphones.
yeah. So we finally come out Friday the 13th.
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, in
What cities?
L.A., Encino, Irvine, and D.C.
Fantastic.
And then after that, we're going to come out on the 20th in New York and Toronto.
Awesome.
And then on the 29th, we're going to have a screening in San Francisco, a couple of screenings in San Francisco. You know, it's a struggle because it's a very independent movie. So we had to raise the money. I co-wrote it.
Wow. Did you direct it as well?
No, I co-produced it. I starred in it. The director was a guy named Jonathan Kesselman who directed a movie called The Hebrew Hammer, which was
A boxing movie?
No, Hebrew Hammer was another silly kind of. It was with
The kid from
Goldberg. something
yes, Jonathan something maybe.
Yeah, not Jonathan. Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly. I remember seeing that. That
Yeah.
came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, and it was it's a silly comedy. And now you got me curious what the guy's name is.
It's a great movie. You would love it. It's like a Jewish superhero.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly. Let me see. Hebrew Hammer.
Did you get the Megan brothers involved to promote it in Toronto?
You know they're going to. Aren't
Yes,
they great?
the
Aren't they
best
great?
guys ever.
Those guys are great, right? Adam Goldberg. That's his
Adam,
name.
yes.
Yeah. So it was a silly. It's a cult hit. It's got its own following.
You've been working on this character for a long time, though.
Yeah, so what happened was there was a play. A friend of mine, the guy who co-wrote this, his name is Amir Ohebsian. He had done a play. He'd written a play that we did in the mid '90s,
Okay.
where it was called The Blind Date.
Hilarious.
This is blind date with a Persian accent.
Yes.
And it was about a guy who goes on a blind date with this girl, and the guy's a total charlatan. He's pretending to have all this money. He doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And the girl's a gold digger, so she's falling for it.
Yes.
They're perfect for each other. And so in the middle of the play, the guy at some point is trying to be cool. He's like, my name is Jamshid. That's a Persian name, Jamshid. He goes, my name is Jamshid, but you can call me Jimmy.
Perfect.
And so from there, I told him, once we stopped doing the play, a few years later, I said, hey man, remember that play we did? I said, I feel like that character can be in a movie. Like we should do a movie around it. So he and I just started loosely writing probably about 10 years ago.
Wow.
On and off. Then we got this is independent movies.
Yep.
It's amazing because how many times you sit around with a friend and go, hey man, you know what'd be a great idea for a movie is da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
And then you got to execute the script,
It's so much work.
which is an uphill battle itself.
Yeah, just taking it from your brain onto the page, it's so challenging. It's so for me as a writer, it's very frustrating because I
Listen.
can see it, but I can't necessarily translate
Yeah,
it.
most of us have an idea of a scene
Yes.
or an idea that you're like, oh, it's a guy who the whole world is ended and there's one guy left.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Now you go, wait a minute.
But what's the story?
Yeah, what's the story? That's like 1 minute. Like,
Yeah.
what's his struggle? What's going on?
What does he want? Yeah. It's
Then you write it and you go, oh, I like this. This is good. And then you go, now you gotta make it.
yeah.
And who's gonna just come out and make your movie? Nobody. So you got to go raise the money.
Wow.
So we had in 2008, or 2007, when we were doing the Axis of Evil comedy tour.
Yes.
We we were in the Middle East and there was this guy who was like, I want to work with you on something. I got money. I want to invest. I go, okay, I got this movie. He goes,
Yeah.
great, I'm in. So then I came back to the U.S. This was in Dubai. The guy was in Dubai.
Okay.
Came back to America. We got on a call with him and the lawyers, all this stuff to get the money. And,
Yeah, let's make it happen.
yeah. And then a couple months later, he's like, oh, the stock market crashed. I can't really do this. I'm like, oh. So he fell through. Then this other dude comes around. He's like, I got the biggest roofing company on the East Coast.
Wow.
I want to do it. He goes, I've been doing black films and I want to do your film. And
Wow.
he was a Persian guy. I go, great.
Awesome. Yeah.
He falls through. I'm like, oh God, this is not easy. So then we were just kind of lingering, and then finally my co-writer was like, at some point, he said, "We just got to do this, man."
Yeah.
So we did a Kickstarter, we did an Indiegogo campaign.
Awesome.
Campaign. Yeah, and this was in 2012, I think, we did an Indiegogo campaign. And here's the crazy part of that is, at the time I had like maybe 100 and like, I don't know, 30, 40,000 fans on Facebook.
Yeah.
So we thought, hey, we'll put it on Facebook. Everyone will give $1. We'll have 130,000. We're good to go.
Yep.
We got our seed money. We can proceed.
Yes.
Well, we put it on, and then it was like crickets, like nothing.
Wow.
And like a few weeks go by, and we've raised like $7,000. And I told the guy, I was like, my co-writer, I go, we can't make a movie, but we could like go vacation in Mexico or something.
Cabo Wabo.
Cabo Wabo for a couple of weeks, really living large. And then eventually somebody brought to my attention that there's a lot of successful Iranian Americans in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And they said, why don't you try and do a fundraiser with them? And here's the key to crowdfunding
Okay.
that I found out afterwards, because I talked to this guy who was experienced in crowdfunding, and he said the number one thing is, he goes, don't rush into it. A lot of people think, hey, I got a great idea for a project. I'll put it up. My friends and family, everyone will give, and I'll make the money.
Yes.
Doesn't happen.
Okay.
So this guy was saying, spend a year or whatever it is getting people ready for your project. Tell them, go to parties, tell people, yeah, I got this movie coming out or whatever it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got this invention. I got this whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get them to talk to you, listen to you, and then get them to also commit to you.
Yeah.
To say, yeah, you know what? I that sounds like a good idea. Let me know when you do it. So you have all these people lined up. And then he said also, in the middle of your crowdfunding, have an event.
Cool.
Where people pay a little bit of money, like let's say normally a ticket to a show or whatever it is, like $20. Say they're going to pay you $100. They're going to come to a party or to a show or whatever it is.
Intimate set, something
cool that you can do. Whether you have a friend who's a musician, or you're a comedian yourself,
Yes.
or whatever it is, or you have a friend who's a cook. You put it together, have them do that so that it kind of boosts your numbers a little bit. And then if you have anyone who's got a lot of money that they want to put in, like let's say you have a relative who's like, hey man, I really want to support you. I want to give you $5,000 or whatever it is. Have them either put it early or put it late. Because at late you're going to need that final push.
Gotcha.
And early it's good so that when people go on that page, they go, yeah, his goal's
successful.
10, he's got 5. Oh, it's doable. Let me put the other couple $100 toward this.
Awesome.
It's all this crazy stuff. So we basically we raised a little over $100,000 from that whole process.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It was amazing.
That's significant.
It was amazing.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then from there, we were able to get other people to invest. So we got all the money together, and then it's like, you got to go make it.
Yeah.
Then you got to edit it. Then you get into some festivals, and then you think, okay, someone is going to come along and just buy it and distribute it.
Right.
Well, the problem there is the big distributors are used to dealing with big films.
Yes.
So they don't want a small budget film. They're used to spending 20, 30 million at least on advertising. And then the smaller distributors, what they do is they lowball the hell out of you. Because they want to just get your product in the hopes that it might hit. If it hits, great. They make money. You make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hit, well, then they've got your movie as part of their library of movies. And then they, in the future, if they decide to sell the company or something, they go, we got 1,000, titles or whatever it is. So it's just
like you put in all the work, and then there's these distributors that want to lowball you, and then they just acquire it. So all your hard work, they buy it for pennies on the dollar. Their goal.
Yeah. So what they have is they have expertise because they know how to get it to certain theaters. They have contacts. They know how to get it.
Business.
It's their business. So you get excited. You go, oh great, they're going to get into theaters and all this other stuff. The other thing that they do sometimes is they'll take it, and then they will come back to you and they'll say, okay, so it costs us $50,000 to put the print ads and all all this other stuff, and basically everything they're putting out there, they're adding a little premium to it, so they make
they're getting paid. Yeah.
Getting paid.
Yeah.
So they make their money no matter what.
Yeah.
You're the one who in the end is like, oh my god, like I'm watching all this stuff come and go. I have no idea. And really, we just count on people to go out. Like if people go out,
yes,
and see the stuff, or if people buy your special or whatever it is, then you can legitimately say, okay, this thing made whatever $1 million, so it made some money, and that's kind of the proof in the pudding.
Gotcha.
But if people don't go out, then it's just this product that's out there that you're just hustling to get people to see from time to time.
All right, so what we need, my buddies out there that are listening right now, it's going to be in LA. It's Southern California. You have coverage. You have Irvine, Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles, Irvine, Encino, and then Washington, D.C. this Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Friday the 20th, it's New York and Toronto.
Awesome.
And then on the 29th, it's 2 screenings in San Francisco where I'll be up there at the Roxy Theater.
That's great.
To introduce it and do a Q&A afterwards. But all this stuff is on jimmyvestvood.com. So that's just VESTVOOD. jimmyvestvood.com. Then go to Showtimes. And they can check out the trailer there, too. I tell people, check out the trailer. If you think it's funny, go see it.
That's awesome.
You know, and don't wait because, like, you know, we all are bombarded by so much media nowadays.
For sure.
Myself included. I've been trying to go see that movie Keanu for a while. It looks hilarious.
Yep, haven't seen that.
You know, we were just talking about the Dice's show.
I haven't seen anything.
People are so bombarded, we don't have time. But a movie like this is such a small movie that it ain't going to hang around too long.
Gotcha.
So it's like, go see it. Help us kind of, you know, have a good box office. And I think they'll have fun. I think they'll enjoy it.
Well, you're a funny dude, so I'm sure anything that you came from your passion is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Listen, I'm proud of the movie. I'm proud of the actors. I've seen it like 1,000 times, and I love it. One time, I don't get high that often.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine who's a stoner showed up one time, and he had a little joint, so we smoked it and watched it. It was hilarious. And I was
like, now I know why people do this.
yeah, I was like, this is a stoner movie.
That's awesome.
Because the characters are so cartoony and outlandish. That I think people will like. You know, people will like it, and then also the other thing is it's got a little bit of a message of peace nowadays because this, you know, it is a story of an immigrant coming to America, and with all the stuff going on with Trump and everything, it's kind of got a message of how immigrants do love America.
Yeah, that's why they want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, were they immigrants here?
Yeah, I was an immigrant here. I was born in Iran, and then when I was 6 years old is around the time when the Iranian Revolution happened.
Okay.
So as the protests were going on in the streets, my father was in New York on business, and then he sent for my mother to bring me and my sister over our winter holiday to stay with him for a couple weeks. And the idea was that we'd stay a couple weeks, and we thought that the protests would die down, and then we'd go back.
Yeah.
But they didn't die down.
Wow.
They just got worse and worse. And I always say, like, it's like we packed for 2 weeks, but we stayed for whatever, 38 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And my baby brother was back in Iran, and we had to get him out a little after we had left just because we thought we were going to go back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Your parents must be so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of immigrants, man, it's like they come from wars and revolution.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so hardcore, you know?
Yeah.
It's like first of all, they're used to the cultures there are so not the culture that we have in America, which the culture in America is go in the backyard and play catch with your son.
Yeah.
Tell your wife you love her.
Yes.
Go see your therapist and get it out of your, you know,
right.
Go get it out.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. Go talk about it.
Yeah.
You know? But a lot of immigrant cultures, and it's probably closer to what like maybe the 50s were in America, where it's like keep it in.
Yes.
Don't tell anybody about your problems. You know what I'm saying?
That's still a very East Coast thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's nobody's business.
Nobody's business.
Just suck it up, put on a brave face.
Once in a while, hit your wife. It's okay. You know, drink to.
This sounds like a Brett Ernst bit for some reason. Like, develop a drinking problem.
Yeah, develop a drinking problem. Keep it down. You know, keep it inside of you. And your kids are there to just be like patted on the head and give them $20 once in a while to go play, and then just, you know, you do your thing.
So you're not a lot of parent interaction, I'm guessing, when you were a little guy?
There was, you know, it was an interesting parent interaction because, like, first of all, my mom was probably with us a lot because she was probably like driving us to go shopping. I hated going shopping with my mom.
I was thinking about that today. I saw a little kid hating it.
Dude, the worst.
I hated it. I used to hide from my mom.
Oh my! I can totally commiserate for that.
Right, like, and I would wait until would Stephen and Mark Simeone please report to the snack bar to meet your mother, and I'd be like, yes, we're getting pretzels.
Absolutely, dude.
I would just take off. I'd be like,
Hilarious.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Well, my mom would actually. It was the reverse. My mom would be like, I'm just gonna go in this department here, and she's like, so I'd be playing and, you know, not paying attention.
Yeah.
And I look up and she's missing.
Oh, that's a scary thought when you're a kid.
So I used to have to go to the cashier and be like, my mom's missing, and they'd be like, can the lady whose kid is looking? She show up. She's like, I was just over there trying on bras. I was
yeah,
like,
but when you're a kid, you're like, I don't know.
Oh, you're scared. You're scared as hell. And so that was my interaction with my mom. Was like a lot of it was her. I kind of see it with my wife now. It's kind of like her just having to deal with these kids, and it's exhausting.
That was the word I was gonna choose. It
Dude.
has to be exhausting.
Exhausting. So she was kind of like frustrated with us a lot, like, you know. And my wife doesn't hit our kids, but my mom used to hit us.
Old school
With hangers and stuff. It's crazy, man. But it was part. I mean, it was all part of it because we were messing around and like not, you know. She was on her last. What's the term on my last straw?
Last straw.
Yeah, and so that's how she was kind of functioning. And then my dad was this real magnanimous, larger than life guy. He'd always be like with his friends and stuff, but when we come home, he'd be like very nice to us and like always giving us cash.
That's great.
I never felt like I needed any. I've to this day, I've never felt like I ever have needed or struggled for money.
Wow,
I think he kind of instilled that confidence in us.
that's great.
Even when I was in college and like, you know, making little whatever peanut butter jelly sandwiches and eating pasta with ketchup because I was trying to do it on my own.
Yes.
I still always felt like no matter what happens, money's always going to be there. And it wasn't because I was like, oh, my father will bail me out. It's just I felt like I will find a way.
Well, it's funny. I remember thinking back to my favorite Maz Jobrani memories. And I remember once, back when I was managing the Comedy Store, and you gave me great advice. Because I did not want to be a manager of the Comedy Store. I wanted to be a comic.
Yeah.
But then you were like, I believe maybe, were you working in advertising at the time? Is that what I'm
Early
thinking?
in my career,
I mean, this is like 16 years ago.
Yeah, that's
15
probably
years
right.
ago.
Right. Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. And you were like, okay, well, you have to get a job. You were like, you have to make sure your bills are paid. And then you had laid out this unbelievable plan for me. And I was like, that's really what I should do. And I wound up just starving and working the door at the Comedy Store.
That's funny.
But I do remember that. You were like, no, you need to make sure that your bases are covered. And you do this, and there's plenty of time at night. Or do you want to be a writer? Well, you could take a writing class at like the Groundlings. You could do that. You could do this. But you have to have the money coming in to make sure that you could do all this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because I had that conversation with Richard at the Comedy Magic Club.
Oh, I love that guy.
And he goes, I'd say the same thing to people because I tell them, you know, make sure that you are getting the rent paid.
Yes.
Because then that will allow you to do what you want to do.
Right. It's weird. People come out here literally with stars in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I think there's a special type of crazy that's attracted to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, nope, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, I look back at the last 15 years and I'm like, I was really blinded for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, life goes on, man. You have to pay your bills. You have to take care of yourself.
Got to take care of yourself. And I think it puts you in a better frame of mind when you've got that. It's like, it's horrible to be, you know, hungry and trying to write jokes.
It's terrible.
It's not funny. It gets dark at a certain point.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm saying?
sure.
So I always tell people, I go, you know, have something like early on I had that day job. And so that's when I started actually. I did plays when I was a kid in junior high school, and I was a big fan of Eddie Murphy's, and I wanted to be like Eddie Murphy.
Do you remember the first time you saw Eddie Murphy?
I think I was like in that 10 range because I've gone back to look at it. So I was born in 72, and I think it was like 80, 82. I always look at when his movies started coming out, and it was right around there.
Yeah, Trading Places, I think, was like, what, 82?
Something like that. And I think he was on SNL like in 80 or 81, right around there.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's when I discovered him. And as a matter of fact, a great thing I just saw the other day, this shows you like how much this guy meant to me, because it's like that Eddie that I knew then as a kid, you know how it is. Like you probably have like kids come up to you sometimes when you do stand up.
Yeah, it's great.
And they've got this look in their eyes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why is this kid so nervous?
Yes.
But you realize you're a big deal to them.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And so Eddie Murphy was huge already, but then he was such a big deal to me that just a couple of weeks ago, I'd headlined the Melrose Improv, and I'd done 2 shows, and it was good night. Mm-hmm. And I came home, and I should have gone to sleep. I was tired, but it was because Prince had just passed away like a couple of weeks before that. And my wife had been watching that bit where Charlie Murphy tells a story of, you know, the
basketball story?
The basketball story that they do on Chappelle.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me find that. I want to watch it as I like have a tea at the end of the night, because I had a sore throat. I was like, let me just have a tea, relax. And I'm doing that. I don't always do that. I often have tequila or something, but it was tea. So I was drinking the tea, looking for the Charlie Murphy bit, and every bit that was on YouTube was someone recording it on their TV.
Wow. And
I was like, forget it. And then I look, and at the bottom it says Eddie Murphy at the comic strip. And I was like, what's this? You got to check it out. Someone has uploaded Eddie Murphy, I think in like 80 maybe, 81 at the comic strip. it's the craziest thing to watch because he's done a pop in.
Wow.
He does a pop in, and so it's kind of grainy material, but it's clear at certain points, but then it gets grainy a little bit. But he does a lot of crowd work,
Wow.
which is amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my God, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the stuff from Delirious, he's, I think, working it out because some of the jokes, a lot of it's already done, but some of it is close to being done. You can see it because I'm 90 some odd % sure that this is before he did Delirious.
That's incredible. Because in my lifetime, that's to me the greatest special I've ever seen was Delirious.
Yeah.
I've seen pieces of the one Pryor recorded in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Then that's one Eddie Murphy says is the greatest piece of stand-up ever recorded.
Oh wow, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, but I can't find it.
Well, I got that box set that Pryor had, and I started listening to that when I first started. And
Is there
Pryor,
an audio recording of that? That's another one of my Maz Jobrani. I remember you talking about Pryor's box set.
yeah. So I remember because that was when I was at the ad agency, and I remember I had to. This is like the kind of stuff you do. I was an assistant at the ad agency, and so I had to drive. This was so I had my day job, and I would do stand up at night, and then we had some we were pitching something that we had to go to Sacramento for, and I was an assistant, so they were like, you bring up all of the boards that we've made. You know, we had these huge boards that were part of the presentation. Mm-hmm. They were like, you drive that up. So I was driving 8 hours to whatever, 6 hours to Sacramento. So I got that box set and I just put it in.
Oh wow, that's great,
dude. Your road trip goes so much faster when you have stand-up comedy. You just listen to it. Oh my God, it was great. And that's when I rediscovered Richard Pryor, and that was early in my stand-up career. And that's when I realized, for me, I love what Pryor was doing just because of the social commentary and some of the political stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of who I would, if I could emulate anybody, it would be somebody like that. And that's why to this day I still try to put some political stuff or social stuff in my act.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we can, as a comedian, you can get some points across.
Oh, we do, whether we choose to or not.
Yeah.
Like some people, I think they're wasting their opportunity. Like for me, I'm not a very political guy, but because I don't want to take part in anything that divides people.
Yeah.
I just want to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And remind that we're all lovable.
Yeah.
And we're all deserving of love. But that's the message I want to put out. And I see every night we have that opportunity because we do affect audiences.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
But it's interesting you say that because it took me about 16, 17 years of doing this till I realized it's okay to alienate some people, and I'll tell you why.
Sure.
Because now you're saying your point is to bring people together.
Yeah, and that will automatically alienate people, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it.
Yeah, because my point, I realized at a certain point, because I'm very liberal. Mm-hmm. I'm just liberal. That's who I am.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, and to this day, when I get up in front of an audience that I know is conservative, I'm like, should I go there? Should I talk about my liberal points or not? And so more recently, I have been saying, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm very liberal. You know, I'm pro gay marriage, and I'm pro immigrant, and I'm pro all this stuff.
Right.
And I realized that is helping me. I'm 44 years old. I'm a grown man. I should have my own opinion.
Sure.
I shouldn't be deterred by someone in the audience who's going to get offended if I do a joke about Trump because they're hardcore conservative and they're going to get upset about that.
Well, here's the thing. I think as a comic, at least this is the sort of path I was like, all right, I'm at a point in my career where nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
They're coming out to see comedy.
Yeah.
But the people that like my brand of comedy, they're going to bring their friends next time. Then there's going to be people that are like, not for me.
Yeah.
And cool, I want to get rid of them. Not to get rid of them. I mean,
no, you're right. You want to funnel them through.
Yeah, and it's like the little group of fans that I have, like from the podcast or a little bit. They're the sweetest, kindest people. They bring me drawings. They bring their whole family.
Yeah.
They know I'm the type of actor where they can bring their kid.
Yeah.
They could bring their grandmother.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's nothing caustic about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's who I want under my tent.
That's who you're attracting. It's perfect. Yeah. Like I was doing a show at the Laugh Factory recently, and I think I was doing some jokes about Trump or something. And there was this guy in the audience, and you could tell he was kind of getting bothered. Like he was in the back. I think I don't know who they were, but they were probably more conservative than liberal. And then supposedly as he was walking out, Randy, the doorman there, was like, yeah, that guy came out. He's like, God, I don't like that too much. It's too political, too much. I don't like politics. And it was just interesting to me how some people, it's like they want to avoid. Life is politics. I mean, that's just what we're in. And so if the fact that some people say I don't like politics in my comedy. That's what they say a lot of times. I don't want politics in my. It's like, well, you know what? That's the guy's point of view. That's the comedian's point of view. I understand if you don't like my comedy, that's fine. But it's just interesting how some people will be waiting for certain words or certain opinions that will just turn them off 100%. Like I could have done if I'd done like 10 minutes of jokes about I don't know, about trees.
Right.
And the guy's like, oh, okay, this is good. You know, I'm loving this guy. And then I get into Trump, and he's like, oh, no. Like,
I love comedy so much. I love when like somebody like Joe Rogan will bring up a point of view that is so different from mine, but it buckles me with laughter. Does that make sense?
exactly.
Like, I think that to me is one of my favorite kinds of comedy. And like some of my favorite comedians take such a different approach than I do. Like I love watching Holtzman or somebody like that, where I'm like, oh, this is great. It's not what I like to do, but I appreciate and love the craft so much.
Yeah, and funny. Listen, you know when it's funny. So like I always say, like even during the Iraq War and the Bush administration, like if somebody did a joke about Bush that was funny, whether you supported him or not, you should laugh.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, some people don't have that.
Yeah, their convictions aren't strong enough.
Conviction, and I think that they ultimately they're sensitive to certain topics. This just happened to me on the most random thing. Like a lot of Iranians, like, so when I do shows, I'd say if I'm headlining, there's probably like 50% of the crowd is Iranian and the rest is other.
Right.
But some Iranians are very sensitive, and they think that by doing an accent of my mother, or by, you know, saying that like in Iran we had a bad economy or something, that I am exposing like the negative side of Iranians to Americans.
Oh God,
really that crazy? Really that crazy?
Oh man!
So I was doing a bit. I was just in Oklahoma the other night. Yeah. So and it was sponsored by an Iranian organization, and it was a mixed audience. But I got to this bit about car seats and how, as a parent now, because I do a lot of parent stuff, and I say, as a parent now, like in America, we're so sensitive to this stuff. Like, you put your kid in a car seat till they're 35 years old, like, you know. But I go in Iran, when I was a kid, we didn't have car seats. I was always we didn't have seatbelts, and this is true. Like, we'd be in the 70s
back, style,
70s. It wasn't just Iran; it was the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But some lady in the back was like, "No, we had it 70 years ago. We had the car seats." I was like, "What?" She's like, 70 years. She starts yelling at it. I go, "I don't even understand what you're saying. 70 years ago?" She goes, "No, 70 years." I go, "Can somebody tell me what she's saying?" And someone's like, "She's saying 17 years ago." I was like, 17 years ago? And then it was just the funniest back and forth, because at a certain point I go, "Lady," I talked about politics. I talked about kids. I talked about all this other stuff. And you take offense at the car seat bit? And somebody after, her son came up afterwards and was like, "I'm so sorry. My mother does stuff like that." But it's just like some people, like she was in the back listening to me talk about how there was no car seats in Iran when I was a kid. And that was the
button that drove her.
And she was like, "This guy is bad-mouthing Iran."
You crossed the line, mister.
God.
People are so sensitive, and they're so judgmental right now.
So stupid. I'm sorry. It's just stupid. It's not sensitive. It's stupid. It really is. Because in all honesty, it's like, first of all, everyone can comment on everything now. Because of, like, it used to be before the social media.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to go out and complain about something, you had to put an effort in.
Yeah.
You had to go to Staples, buy some paper, come home, start writing that letter.
Yeah.
Get upset, crumble it up, throw it out.
Think your opinion out.
Maybe start cutting the letters out of a newspaper to put it down. Mail it. Go wait for 2 weeks. Hope they answer you. Right.
Yeah.
Now everyone just goes and puts the opinion down. And it's crazy because, look, some opinions. I've had people email me before. And say, "Listen, man, I was at your show and I'm a fan, blah, blah, blah. You said this thing. I'm not sure if, I didn't take it the right way." And when they come to me like that, I usually take my time to explain to them. And I go, "Listen, man, I appreciate you coming out. And really what I meant with that," like I used to do a joke where I made fun of the media coverage after the Boston bombing. Because the media coverage was such that there was two Moroccan guys with backpacks on standing at the finish line, and the New York Post took their picture and put it on the cover of their paper, and it said "Bagmen," indicating that those were the guys. But it turned out they weren't the guys. They were just two Arab-looking dudes with the backpacks who were big marathon fans who happened to be at the end of the marathon.
Probably had snacks in their backpack.
Had snacks in their backpack, yeah. But I was making fun of that. Well, I've had a couple people come to my shows and see me do the bits about it, and they're like, "Boston Marathon was a tragedy. You shouldn't joke about it." And I go, "I'm not joking about the Boston Marathon. I'm joking about the media coverage." And by the way, I start that whole bit by talking about how I was in Boston a week before it happened. This is true.
Yeah.
And how my first thought was that my heart went out to the victims. I was heartbroken. I really was. And then I go, my second thought was just, please don't be Middle Eastern. Please don't be Middle Eastern. Right. And then I go into the bit. But so people, if they come at me with some kind of comment like that, I tend to take a second to explain to them, right? But the problem I have is sometimes, like, especially with this movie now, with the trailer, again, Iranians being sensitive, okay?
Yeah.
So in the trailer, people can watch it online. Basically, it shows at the beginning, this guy wins the green card lottery, and he's so excited that he starts waving the American flag in the streets of Iran. As they're waving the flag, somebody tickles him, the flag falls on the ground, he picks it up, he keeps waving it. We show that it actually fell into some oil.
Okay.
There's a guy played by Peter the Persian who's down the street fixing his car. He looks back. He doesn't like these people chanting and dancing, so he takes the cigarette out of his mouth, flicks it. It goes backwards, hits the flag, flag's on fire.
Okay.
So now my character, who's this bumbling idiot, kind of Inspector Clouseau type,
Right.
he's got a burning flag, American flag.
So now they think it's a whole different kind
So
of...
he throws it on the ground, starts stepping on the flag to put the fire out, and then people bring out their cameras and they videotape it, and then it flashes quickly to is our version of Fox News, which is Cox News. And the guy's like, we just found this online. This guy's a jihadist, blah, 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 blah. So it's totally a mislead, right?
Yes.
But we're trying to make fun of Fox News. We're trying to make fun of this guy's situation. But I've had some Iranians comment on my page just by seeing the streets of Iran. And in all honesty, the streets of when we were filming it, we were trying to replicate the streets of Iran.
Yeah, where'd you film it?
But we filmed it downtown LA.
Okay.
And our production designer, when you have an independent film, you're kind of limited.
Yep.
So if you have a big budget film, you have a long time to see the that's what it looks like. Okay, let's get this. So we were talking to the production designer the whole time leading up to that shoot, going, listen, here's some pictures from the streets of Iran we found on the internet. It's pretty cosmopolitan. Make sure you get that. We show up to shoot it, and me, my co-writer, and my co-producer, all three of us are Iranian American.
Okay.
And we show up to shoot it, and we look, and we're like, oh my God, this looks like a bazaar in Morocco. Like, this guy got it wrong. So we go over, we're like, dude, what happened? He's like, no, this is kind of what I could put together. I was like, oh my God, now we have no money to, like, we can't change it.
Oh, God.
So we're like, let's just shoot from an angle that doesn't show the vendors too
You
much.
guys should have done a documentary behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Would have been just as funny as the film.
Dude, because we knew...
oh, man, this is what I was going for.
As soon as we knew that it looked like Morocco, we're like, oh, we're going to get some crap from Iranians on this. Well, of course, when the trailer goes online, I've had some Iranians be, is this movie disparaging of Iranians because you're not representing the Iran the way it is? And I'm like, dude, we've gotten our asses kicked so much in American cinema the past 40 years.
Yeah.
This is definitely a step in the opposite direction.
Have you seen The Iron Sheik? You know what I
Dude,
mean? The poor guy got booed.
Yeah.
Was that tough as a kid watching The Iron Sheik?
I think it was just like, it was entertainment, I just saw it as entertainment. But we didn't have, I was a big fan of all the Italian movies because that was the closest I felt to, like, somebody who kind of looked like me.
Yeah.
The mob stuff, you know? But it's just funny how people would judge. You were, talking about, like, just people, like I said, people are stupid because they come out and they judge based on something very small.
Yeah.
And I go, see the whole movie first, number one. Number two, you know what? You don't like it? Go make your own movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it took a lot of effort, and really the underlying theme of my movie is to show Iranians in a fun, silly light. And by the way, the hero of the movie is an Iranian. It's like in an American movie. Like, you don't have that.
When was that ever before?
They don't get it. Ugh.
So sad. So many people are just so lost.
I was saying, I wish there were a thing called Twit Slap where you could slap somebody.
I'm starting to come with the point of view, like, I'm a very sweet guy, I just want everybody to get up. But I'm starting to be like, hey, I'm offended that you're offended. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
How about my opinions? How about that?
Well, that's my point. Listen, the point is, I'm a sweet guy. I'm a nice person.
You're the best. I remember John Caparulo once, years and years ago, he was like, nobody hates Maz. Like, I just, for whatever reason, I just have that, like, I have certain images in my
I'm just a nice, there's no reason to be a jerk. So I've always been a nice guy, as are you. You're one of the nicest people I know. And it's like, and that's the problem, is when somebody criticizes you, then you realize exactly what you just said. You realize, wait a minute, I'm a grown adult. I pay rent, I pay mortgage, I pay whatever. It's like, I pay, I'm no longer a kid. Because I grew up thinking, like, you have to be respectful.
Yes.
They have an opinion, then you just say, I'm so sorry, I'm younger than you. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. You're probably an expert because you're older. It's like, no, wait a minute. I am an expert. I've been doing this for 17, 18 years now.
Yeah.
And you're coming at me with your criticism of my comedy. So you know what?
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
I don't
Move
want.
on.
Yeah. That's it. That you don't have to like everything, man. Not everything's for you. It's like what you like and enjoy it.
And as a matter of fact, Facebook's made it very easy. You just unlike.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But people just feel so self-righteous, and they think they know. Listen, everyone can express their opinions, but it's just like as an artist, it's like because listen, we probably are very sensitive to comments.
I won't put out YouTube videos because of that.
That's hilarious.
Like I'm just like I can't deal with it. I don't need some 13-year-old in Des Moines pooping on my dreams.
Dude, early on I had that when I first I remember when YouTube was like again right around the time we were doing Actually Evil. It came out on Comedy Central 2007. That's when YouTube was starting to really pick up.
Yep.
And I remember seeing it for the first time. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And I read the first comment. They're like, this guy rocks. I'm like, fantastic.
Oh, yeah, this kid.
Yeah, the next one was like, this guy's the best thing ever. Oh, I'm great. And then the third guy's like, this guy sucks. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's the worst.
And then they get in an argument. Then one guy's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm going to kick your ass.
Oh, my God. Yeah, what a place.
It's just ridiculous. And it's gotten now to a whole other level. So you really got to ignore it. And I even though I say you got to ignore it, I still get reeled in sometimes.
That's why I don't look.
Well, the reason I started looking, and maybe I should just stop in general, is because in all honesty, like when you post something, I look to see if like somebody hits me back and goes, where can I get tickets? Or like, when you come into blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, this is another opportunity to promote.
Yeah, that's an exhausting
exercise.
Yeah, like social media has made the job of a comedian 24/7.
Absolutely.
Where it's just like, ooh, because I try to thank everybody that reaches out to me. I'm like, you're taking time out of your schedule to thank me for something. I'm going to thank you back. But then it's like, it never ends because then they shoot you another message back.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, oh my God.
Dude.
It just doesn't stop.
I have many conversations going like that. And I try to like tone it down by going, smiley face.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they come back with, where you been, man? I haven't talked in a while. I'm like,
could you imagine if you were 12 and you could interact with Eddie Murphy on Twitter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he actually would send, it's like the coolest thing ever for some of these kids.
It is amazing, right?
You brought up earlier that the movie has an Iranian hero. Like growing up, I don't think a lot of white people really understand is not seeing yourself portrayed in movies. So
Yeah.
like, what was your experience watching like Iranian movies as a kid? And
that's the thing. Like I grew up watching American movies, right? I mean, we didn't have any Iranian movies.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents and stuff, they might have had some stuff laying around, and I caught it here and there, a little bit in college. But a lot of first of all, Iranian cinema is amazing. Like they won a lot of those international awards, like the Cannes Awards and stuff. So when you watch those, they're all very serious. There's a lot of symbolism.
I also don't think a lot of Americans know how beautiful and advanced of a culture Iranian culture is, and especially before the revolution, like how friendly it was to the West, and how, I mean, it's weird how our media tries to manipulate people's perceptions of other human beings.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Listen, to this day, I mean, if you guys get a chance, Anthony Bourdain did a Parts Unknown in Iran, and when he went there, he said they were the most hospitable people he'd ever met. And there's a lot of Iranians that are very modern, they're very advanced.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went to Iran right now, I think you would experience like this bustling city. It's not
Yes.
It's not like Saudi Arabia is a lot more clamped down.
Yeah.
Iran is a lot more open in that way.
Cool.
But still, regardless, like there's good people everywhere. And,
Absolutely.
And so the cinema's amazing. Like a few years ago, there was a great movie. It was called A Separation, and it won the best foreign film in the Oscar category. But it was a serious movie, and it was amazing. I was just riveted watching it for 2 hours. And so yeah, growing up, there wasn't a lot of Iranians, like the depiction of Iranians in movies. Where I think Down and Out in Beverly Hills, the neighbors were Iranian. I forget like what they did, but they were like, usually if you showed an Iranian in an American movie, it would be kind of this like brooding dad who, like, or it was like, sometimes it was like they did have them, I think, as like terrorists and stuff like that. Right? It never was me watching it going like, oh wow, this is,
Look at that silly guy.
yeah, this is a guy I can get behind.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh, okay, all right. And to this day, I mean, you just haven't seen it. I mean, we had The Prince of Persia, which was Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't go see it.
Yeah.
That was based on a video game. But, like I said, it's like every culture, every community has several different types of people. You have, you have the guy who's a doctor. You got the guy who's, a deli store owner.
Yeah.
And those stories aren't told unless you tell those stories.
Oh, that's a great point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's no one right now sitting at a studio right now going, you know what we should do? We should do that movie about that nice guy, that nice Iranian guy who owns the deli that we go to eat at all the time. We
Yeah.
should do a movie around that guy.
Right.
That's not going to happen
Yeah.
until his son becomes a writer and goes, Dad, I'm going to write your story. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that gets back to more or less an obligation of the artist to impact their world.
You have to create
You have
it.
to do it.
No one else is
Dude,
going to do
that's
it.
got to make the criticism even harder because it's like, hey, man, like you're this kid. You come here when you're 6 years old. You're getting exposed to American humor. I do want to try to get into that a little bit because I think that's so cool that you're already doing plays and stuff like that. And you come up with this character almost 20 years ago. And then all the work it took to bring this thing to life. You did everything, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You wrote it. You're down at this, everything.
Yeah.
Raise the money for it. You're
Yeah.
selling people a year in advance
Yeah.
at cocktail parties, right?
Yeah.
And then one random person doesn't get it. And then I don't like the way the trailer looked.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, do you understand the bigger picture here, what I'm trying to do?
But that's why you gotta that's my issue. Like you were talking about how you like to make everybody happy and everything. I'm a little bit like that too. But I've learned a little bit of like, okay, you know what? My issue is I gotta let that go. I gotta realize what you just said. This person could be a 13-year-old kid. It could be some grown lady who's got her own issues. It could be a million things.
I generally have come to this as I've lived more life. We treat other people the way we feel about ourselves. I
Right.
totally believe that.
Yeah.
So the people that get offended by what you say, the people that don't get it, there's something going on in their life where ultimately they need a hug. And it's very difficult. It's usually the people that need the hug the most that deserve it the least.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And it's funny because, you know, we don't know where they're coming from and they have their own opinion. And they may, even if they saw the movie, they still may not get what you're trying to do.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's the beauty of art. Like I remember one of the light bulb moments for me was I was watching Letterman, and he was like, he goes, yeah, they just put Wi-Fi in Central Park, which is great because at lunchtime I can take my laptop down there and read all my hate mail. And I was like, oh my God, he's getting hate mail. Lady Gaga, all these people like Kevin Hart, who's got millions of fans. You know how many people probably like on his page, you know,
Hey,
bad mouthing
sure.
him.
Yeah.
And that comes from a lot of stuff. I remember Cat Williams did a funny bit about like haters and how like people, there's always going to be people that hate.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. And also the beauty of it is the other thing that's good to know is the more hate mail you're getting, the better known you're becoming.
Dice had told me that a long time ago.
Yeah.
He said it's the people that hate you that make you famous.
Yeah. You're like, oh, wow, I've gotten to the point now where there's people that are not liking what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. That means I'm out there. Because if I'm somebody who I'm not at all an abrasive person and I like to be liked like you.
Yeah.
But if you were to be liked by everybody,
You're doing something wrong.
it's just too. You're not putting an opinion into this.
No, and what I'm noticing as I've evolved as a comic, the people that like me love me. And the people that don't, they're like, it's not for me. And I'm like, good. Good, because it's not for everybody.
Absolutely, and you want those people at your party that are going to love you and are going to be into you and get you. Like when I post, I've been posting as the character Jimmy Vestwood a lot on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome.
So it's great because the people, I go and read the comments, and most of the comments are people that get it.
Yep.
And they're enjoying it, and they get my type of humor.
Yes.
Like I just did a post from him for Mother's Day.
Awesome.
And again, he's kind of a bumbling idiot. He kind of doesn't get everything.
Yeah.
So I just have him quoting all these like things where like basically I'm like, today is Mother's Day, so we need to remember that our mothers are the ones who give us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then
That's awesome.
And then I said something like, what did I say? Oh, so today, ask not what your mother is gonna do for you, but what you are going to do for your mother, okay? To be a mother or not to be a mother. That is the question. So I just did all these silly
Hilarious.
comments. And so the people that are fans were like watching. They're like,
Loving it.
they're loving it. And I'm sure some people were like, what?
Yeah.
But it's like, that's my sense of humor.
That's what's perfect. Like I know, like when I get in front of, I call them the cool kids. They don't like what I do.
Oh yeah, the cool kids are like it's like you're too cool for school. I hate it when people are like, no man, this isn't edgy enough. This isn't. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Go be all edged
go
up.
Be miserable somewhere else.
Go be miserable somewhere else.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, seriously.
I did a show in Seattle a couple years ago. It was a great show, the Neptune Theater. I love the Neptune Theater. It's a beautiful place. We had a rock and roll show. It was me, Amir K, and this guy Nimish Patel out of New York. Just a fun, everyone had their own style, and Amir's a little edgier. Nimish is actually and Nimish just wrote for Chris Rock. He's a great writer.
Cool.
Great night. Go to a little like after party across the street afterwards, having some drinks, and there was this guy who just had a problem. Like he was just this young guy, like mid-20s, who just was like, I don't know what he thought. If he thought like my stuff was too vanilla, or if he thought it was like derivative or something. That's the other thing, when they think you're derivative of somebody, and you're like, who? And then like they'll name somebody. You go, I've been doing it like that. I've been doing it before, like longer than that person.
So sad when people are always looking for something not to enjoy.
Yeah,
It's like you're living wrong, man.
yeah.
They're always looking for like, well, this is what's wrong. Dude, let's celebrate what's right.
This guy was so just angry. I mean, his cousin or somebody was there with him, and she was like, she was a fan. She was like, oh, we had a great time. And then this guy supposedly played soccer or something. And I'm a big fan of soccer.
Yeah.
I used to play soccer. So we started talking about soccer or something, and somehow that came up. And he was kind of being a little critical. And then I was trying to give him props. I was like, yeah, I'm sure, like, you're probably really good. Like, did you ever try to make it to, like, in the MLS or whatever? And he was kind of bad-mouthing the MLS. It's like, nah, yeah. And I was like, wait.
I can't be around people like that anymore.
I'm like, what is your problem? I go, dude, I'm trying to give you, like, some props, and now you're saying you're better than the MLS. Now you're saying you're better than... And I go, you have a psychological issue here.
Yeah.
And I really got upset. And at one point I got, like, probably had a couple drinks too.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got all like, I was like, this is what I do, and I'm like, I'm cussing,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm damn good at it, but I was like saying other stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, because I'm a bad mofo, and I got in his face.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, calm down. I was like, no, this dude's an
Yeah.
idiot.
Me calm down. You calm down.
Yeah. I got there. I got all pissed. The people were like, calm down. I was like, okay, I got to relax. This guy's got issues. He should see a psychiatrist, not me.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is too. You're absolutely right.
That's what it is. The guy's got. I don't know what his problems are, because we are functioning under the impression that all the people around us are at the same sanity level as us. We all have issues,
Of course.
but we think that everyone around us has the same level of sanity. But no, I mean, you don't have to be sane to come to a comedy club.
No.
Right? You could be depressed. You could be just like, you could be out of your mind. You could be whatever it is. $20, you buy the ticket, you show up, and now afterwards you had an issue with a joke or something. So it's like we have to remind ourselves, because we're sensitive.
Yes.
We got to remind ourselves, you know what, man, let it go.
Yep.
This is just like, I've had a couple times where I'll be looking at those the comments under like one of my posts. Again, I'm really looking to just see if someone's asking a question of where you're going to be or whatever,
Yes.
or saying good job, and I want to say thank you like you.
Sure.
And then you run across that one, and I've had a couple times where I was just about to answer, and I go, you know what? Give it 24 hours. I give it 24 hours, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because the
It's a better
problem
way
is
to live.
what you just said. We're so hooked to our social media and our phones and all this stuff that suddenly, I mean, I know this, like, comments on my pages have become topics of conversation between my wife and I. Whereas, like, we should be talking about us. We should be talking about my kids.
Yeah,
We
good
should be
stuff.
about our life,
Yes.
as opposed to going like, somebody said blah 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 today.
Yeah,
Oh
who
yeah, I
cares?
know. And,
Literally, when you step back from it, you go, wait, why do I care about this? Oh, I don't care about this.
I don't care
I
about
don't
this.
care about this. Yeah. Feels good just saying it.
Get it out. I don't care about this. People, did you hear that? If you post something online, just put it out there. If somebody comments, I don't care about this.
Yeah, and it's also like, I wanted to do a bit on it where I'm like, I've never seen a negative YouTube comment that was like, it's just not for me. I appreciate what you do, but
That's
it's just not my
funny.
cup of tea. Like, there's no positive.
Funny. Yeah.
People are just so self-absorbed.
A
They
for
think
effort.
everything's for them.
That's funny, dude. You're right. That is a good bit. It's just not for me. I really enjoyed. It's kind of like when you have judges on any of these. Like, I had to judge on a comedy competition at the Laugh Factory, and everybody was very nice. Like, it was me. It was Sean Wayans, and it was Richard Lewis. I think Paul Rodriguez. It was like 4 or 5 of us, and I was sitting there going, "Wonder who's going to be the Simon Cowell of this group?"
Right.
Nobody. Even when there was comedians that weren't good, every one of us, you got good stage presence.
Find something.
Yeah, you hold that mic really well. You got a good handle on them.
I like your shoes.
You should just keep working at it.
Hilarious.
Was it tough for you as a kid? Because I was bullied as a kid, and when you're a kid, you can kind of separate yourself from it. Like, you're just not friends with them, so you're not going to hang out with them if they bully you. And it seems like with social media, there's no way to escape it. So it's like and it's also kind of new. So it's the older you got, the less teasing mattered.
Sure.
And the more experience that you have with social media, the less that you kind of care about it. So it like and like it seems like we're kind of growing up with social media, and even though we're older or adults now, it's still it kind of jabs at you in the same place where like the teasing jabbed at you.
It's got to be tough for kids, man. A friend of mine was telling me that he's got daughter in like junior high, and how
That's a tough age.
how mean they can be to each other. Like they'll be making plans, and then suddenly they'll leave one of them out, but it's all on social media.
Ugh.
And it's just like it's got to be hard because I mean we're adults and we're getting affected by this.
Yeah.
Much less a teenager. You know what I'm saying? The bullying I got as a kid was just you'd get it on the playground, but they couldn't follow you home and
Yeah, it's true.
post it on your page or something.
Yeah.
There's
You get over it, or you fight, or you get it, whatever. It's
Yeah.
like-
There's something to be said about like just disengaging with it all.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just going like that. And then,
if I was not a comedian, I
yeah.
wouldn't be on any of it.
And then actually living your life,
Yeah.
like looking at people as you walk around.
It's great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've gotten back to, especially with this, as the movie's coming out in the crunch time, I've gotten back into like driving and texting, which is really bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
So I really need to like put my phone in the glove compartment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not around.
Yep.
That's the way to go.
Absolutely. Because that's like your office, man. Like, number one, it's not safe to text and drive. 100%.
Not at all.
I just did a benefit for somebody. I don't want to go into the details.
Yeah.
It's bad. But it's also like it's a constant source of distraction and stress. Like,
Stress and anxiety, because and it's like little silly things that you feel like can't wait, but they can.
of course. And here's the thing. When I started to post less on social media, people like your little online community goes through a little withdrawal. But then life goes on. It's
Yeah.
like I'm too busy to keep on doing this podcast every week. Hopefully, I get through May. We'll do an episode every week in June. Awesome. But it's like I can't interact with everybody on social media and write a TV show and write a script and do all my own travel and get out on the road. It's just like
Yeah.
it's too much.
No, there's been times when I've posted something that like got such an overwhelming reaction that exactly what you just said. I realized I go, wait a minute, I can't respond to everybody.
No.
So then I just did like another post going, thanks to everybody for their comments.
That's it.
I got nothing else to tell you.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Boy.
Lee, what time are we looking at? Because Maz is busy. He's like a real guest.
It's 3:00. We've done almost an hour.
Okay.
What do you think? I can whatever you
For-
need.
Well, all right. Let's just do one like random little kid question or something
Sure,
like that. You
yeah.
said, I know you played soccer. You're still a fan.
Yeah.
Is there any coach from your childhood through you played until you still play every once in a while?
I
don't
still
you?
play pickup games, but yeah, I played. I played seriously in high school, and then I played a little bit. Like I tried out for the team in college, but I didn't make it.
Yeah,
but-
you went to like Berkeley or something.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah. No, you're asking, is there a coach?
Yeah, was there any like coach where you're like, that was a good guy or that was a funny guy?
There was a couple of them. There's this one guy, and I'm still in touch with him from time to time because he somehow found one of my best friends, Jesse. They got in touch. He was on the team with me. Jesse and I were on the team together, and then he got in touch with this the old coach found him, and then he found me. So this guy, his name was Fernando Rodriguez.
Great name.
He's a Mexican guy. I think he's Mexican. I'm pretty sure he's Mexican. And he was a fireman in Marin County.
Cool.
And he was kind of this macho dude, kind of had like his hair was a little bit below, like above his shoulders, but he's kind of a ladies' man.
Uh-huh.
And it was very funny because he was a great coach. We loved the guy. He was such a nice guy. We had a really good team.
How old are you guys?
We were, this was sophomore year in high school.
Okay, so like 15, 16.
Oh,
something like
best
that.
times.
Yeah.
And this guy would bring, like, he would date these like hot aerobics instructors.
That's so 80s and awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he would bring, like 2 times, he brought 2 different really hot aerobic instructors.
Was everybody like, oh my God?
And he brought them to like help us train. So he was like, okay, today, guys, today we're going to have, whatever. Mandy, she's going to give you and she would run us through some aerobics. And we're like, you dog. But it was
so
great.
awesome.
And all the kids were like, I want to be in the front row because she was so hot. It was
That's
so
awesome.
much fun, man. He was great. And then my other coach there, Tom Ryan, who was our junior and senior year coach. This guy was just fit, redhead, always had a baseball cap. And he was just great. Like those were such great years because it really felt serious. Like it really was.
Yes.
We had a good team.
Yep.
We won. I think we won all 3 of those years. We won our league.
Whoa. That's a big
And
deal.
yeah, it was a big deal. And we actually went to like the NorCal Championships 2 years in a row and lost those. But it just felt like you were in the best shape of your life. You know, I think we either had a game or a practice every day of the week, 5 days a week. And it was just, and these coaches were just they were really cool people. Like it was like they even though they were grown-ups,
Yeah.
they treated us with a lot of respect, and
Yep.
it was, and it was given back.
I think that's a great life lesson. That
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
I remember that's like season 2 Sopranos, I think, where Tony Soprano goes, "Those who want respect, give respect."
I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Little
true.
things yeah, absolutely, man.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. Like you really, I think, even the younger people, you should give it to them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, little kids know when you're talking down to them, and then they know when you're really listening.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And I've learned another great life lesson. People live up to the expectations you set for them. So the more you see the best in somebody and the more love you give them, the more you'll get back.
Yeah.
It's like, for sure.
Yeah.
Buddy, I can't thank you enough for being on this.
Thanks for having me, man.
What's the Jimmy Vestwood website again?
JimmyVestwood.com. So JimmyVestvood.com. JimmyVestwood.com. Movie opens Friday the 13th in LA, Encino, Irvine, and Washington, D.C. Friday 20th in New York and Toronto. And then 29th is just one night in San Francisco. But that's when it opens. But we're hoping people go see it opening weekend so we can expand from there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm at Maz Jobrani on all that social media stuff. So if you want to send me some criticism. what was our line we came up with?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Go be mean somewhere else. All right,
Yeah.
buddy. I love you. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Thanks, Stevie.
Bye.
Is that me or happy days? Mom and Pa look back on all the things they used to do. Never had no money and they always told
Guys, that was Maz Jobrani. And once again, he came on to promote his new movie, Jimmy Vestwood. So that's JimmyVestvood.com. And Good Times, it's brought to you by the Don Carlos Taco Shop, located in beautiful La Jolla, California. Domingo's Italian Deli. It's Little Italy, located in the heart of the San Fernando Valley, right on Ventura Boulevard in Encino. The best sandwiches ever are at Domingo's. And then my brother, if you live near Philly, you need a dentist, check out Chester County Dental Arts. And then Mike Pye's company, Freak, FREKWARE.com. They have all kinds of cool stuff on there. And you can see pictures of my buddy Robert. He's got his own line of shirts on there, Team Oberst. And you can use the promo code LIVBIG and save 15%. Right? We just did it like real grown-ups. Knocked it all out.
And then those shirts are comfortable.
I'm wearing one now.
Oh, like, look at that. Oh, wow, that's a new one. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's cool colors.
It's like black on black almost.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? I'm pumped up for the appreciations.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, I'm happy that I got to talk to my aunt and uncle that I haven't got to speak to in probably close to a year.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy that I went on the Bob and Tom radio show and had so much fun. And guess what?
What happened?
They gave me free flowers to give my mom.
That's
I
nice.
was like part of a promo, and my mom loved them. So I got my mom a card, flowers, and a gift.
I'm thankful that I was able to find a good local florist where my mom lives. This is like the third or fourth holiday in a row that you get your mom flowers, and she's loved them every time. So
Awesome.
It's hard, so it's good to find, and especially a lot of places now you do like the 1-800-flower, and those they're weird or they send the wrong order. So a local florist, just like Domingo's or like Don
Small
Carlos,
businesses, man.
it's important.
Yeah, it's the best. Let's see what else would be a good one. Oh, ready for this? I'm so grateful that I was in Indianapolis, but guess what I got to eat?
What did you get to eat?
Giordano's Chicago-style pizza.
Where did you get it from?
There's a Giordano's. They're starting to franchise, and they had one in Indy.
Just out of the blue. Good luck.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I was just walking, so I got to eat an Italian beef sandwich and Giordano's pizza in the same day.
Same meal.
Well, kind of. I had one slice because I got a bigger pie, and then I ate it. So I had one slice at lunch, one at dinner because it's so heavy, Chicago style. And then I was so excited. I didn't want to do anything after the show because I know I had pizza back in my room. So then after the shows, I came back, ate pizza, and there were still 2 slices the next morning.
For breakfast?
Yes. So
Did
I got 4 meals out of it.
Did you plan the breakfast ones? I'll do that sometimes.
Yeah.
If I have pizza, I'm like, I'll save some for breakfast.
Yeah, because there was a fridge and a microwave. So it was perfect.
Oh, and there was a microwave? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the best. I'm grateful that I get to go home in June.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm grateful that I'm going to be on Ari's season 3 of Ari's show.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very grateful.
I'm grateful that I got to meet Andrew Dice Clay last week.
Oh, he's the best. I love him.
He was so nice. He was super nice to me, and it was like, I don't know. The podcasting has been so fun, but there's everyone asks which episodes stand out, and that one is going to be
He's
a memory for a
hilarious,
while.
right?
Oh my god,
So funny.
and him and Eleanor together. And Eleanor
Did Eleanor come on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's funny just because they have so much time with each other and so much chemistry that they're amazing on podcast together.
Yeah, that's a good comedy couple right there.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I'm so grateful for all the people that came out to my shows, like that drove that far. They brought me a cake shake, Peyton's picture, the cheesecake. There was a lot of cool stuff, a lot of laughs. I'm so grateful for this podcast because the people that like it are fun people to hang out with.
Yeah, they bring you shakes and pictures.
Yeah, because that's like kind of the thing. Like Maz and I, we sort of touched on it a little bit, but I'm so grateful that the type of comedy that I do appeals to the type of people I really like.
Absolutely, yeah. That would be stinky if you didn't like your fans or the people who come out to your shows.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, I'm grateful that Paula finished law school last week.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm grateful for the Major League Baseball package. I really am, because my Phillies, they're playing so great right now, but they're so young, I don't know their names.
Are they really playing great?
Yeah, they're like 5 games over 500 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they have like the 5th best record in baseball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're playing great. You're pitching. There's this kid out of the bullpen that's been lights out. He had 1 blown save out of like 12 or 13 opportunities just because he had pitched like 2 games in a row already.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. They're winning all these 1-run games. They're a really fun team to watch.
I'm grateful that I got to go spend some time with an aunt and uncle out here. Like, there's been a lot of family stuff recently,
that's great.
So it's been fun.
I'm grateful that my buddy Fluffy's going to play the Comedy Store tonight. And he's going to let me open up for him.
That's going to be crazy.
I was so happy just to have Gabe come back to the Comedy Store because it's like my 2 families. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, buddy, Comedy Store's really fun too. And then I told the Comedy Store, I said, my buddy Gabe, and they were like, whatever he wants to do. Whatever Gabriel wants to do, we'll let him do.
I'm grateful, and this is going back a little bit, but that I got to go to his Christmas party with you and Joey.
Oh, yeah, I'm grateful for that too. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Plus, like, I got to watch you and Joey just really not enjoy a magician.
Yeah, magic scares me.
Even just thinking about it, it'll make me laugh. Just thinking.
Yeah, I don't like magic.
Both you and Joey were like,
I don't like being around
it
it.
makes you a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And that will always make me laugh. Just you and anyone just a little bit uncomfortable is funny.
I'm grateful that on Wednesday I'm going to get to go see my buddy William and my little buddy Steven.
That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that I get to hang out with you on an unexpected day. I didn't expect.
Yeah,
to
this
see
was
you today.
great. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful for this. Oh, here's a good one.
Yeah.
It's one of my cheat codes for life. I just went and bought new socks. It's the best. It's like walking around on a cloud. It's one of the cheapest, best ways to make yourself feel good.
I completely agree, but I'm not a sock person. Personally, I'm grateful that I just did my laundry and I have all clean underwear. Because clean underwear
is
to
the
me,
best.
I might switch it out twice a day sometimes.
Yep.
Even when I didn't work out, but now that I'm working out, fresh underwear is, I couldn't agree more, is
The
heavenly.
best. It's the little things. Oh, I'm grateful for the website Bryce built me and all the people, that Amazon link, that helps, man. So all you guys that are using, that have gone to awesomesteve.com and clicked through the link to buy stuff on Amazon, grateful.
Absolutely. I'm grateful that someone cleaned my apartment this week. Paula cleaned my apartment for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
When I was out of the house one day, so it was great.
I'm grateful. Oh, I got a picture of my little buddy Angelo in the suit. Remember, I said last week or 2 weeks ago, the website, guys, is adsuits.com. And they hooked up my little buddy at the hospital with a suit for his confirmation. And
He looked good?
Yeah, he looked awesome in it.
There's something about little guys and like, did he have like a hat? I just imagine like a hat.
He had like
came.
he was like fresh to death. He looked great.
I'm grateful that I got to have a good workout this morning and actually enjoy it, because I was looking at some pictures of how big I used to be, and I never even thought I was that big. So I'm thankful that I was able to and happily worked out.
Yeah, Lee, you look so much. How much weight have you lost?
Still about 90 pounds. I'm fluctuating.
Whoa, that's incredible.
It's good. My goal is to get to that 100-pound mark, but
How can we help?
Stop making food delicious.
Maybe we could get back into the habit of like going on a walk or something, going to the gym. Maybe we could hike one day a week, something.
Yeah, my issue, I'm grateful that I've been able to work out more, and I've been enjoying that a lot. But my issue is with my diet right now. So
Gotcha.
I'm working, and it's kind of the frustrating part is when you're working out and you don't see any results.
That's when you
then
got to keep going.
You're like, oh yeah, I gotta figure out where. I'm grateful that I have so many people around me that want to help and can help me with my diet and get me to where I want to be.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very grateful that I can walk to the gym. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm grateful that my body works,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
So grateful.
That's that your body works, that you're not in pain, that it's just
so grateful.
and then you don't even think about it.
Nope. Grateful for all the friends that I have too. I can't wait to just hang out tonight and see. I haven't been to the Comedy Store in a while. I was there last week, but it seems like forever ago. So I can't wait for that.
Who are you looking forward to seeing? Like any specific people? Or you just going there.
Yeah, I love going there. I love when you don't know who you're going to run into. It's going to be so fun to see Gabe there and his whole crew, like Martine and Alfred. I mean, they're just all great dudes. That'll be so fun. But then I really like the door guys at the Comedy Store and the open mic kid, like the guys trying to break into the club. Mm-hmm. They're my favorite. They're so cute.
And tonight's the open mic too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fun night to hang out.
Do you get like nostalgic on Mondays?
Sure.
Thinking about all the open mics you did, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm grateful that I get to see all this great comedy. Speaking of comedy in LA, I've been blessed over the past 4 or 5 years to get to see
We're
amazing
spoiled.
Oh yeah.
We are spoiled. And you know what? This just dawned on me. Like I remember one of the first night I managed the Comedy Store. Like Mitzi Shore herself. I had to go to her house and pick her up. And she walked me through the club and showed me everything the way she wanted it. And the show we sat in and watched that night was called Arabian Nights. And it was her version of a show of primarily Arab American comics that she had handpicked. And she told me, because this is like a year before September 11th. She was like, God told me there's going to be a lot of healing that needs to take place, And I remember Vince Vaughn got up on stage that night. Maz got up on stage that night. Ahmed, Aaron Cater. It was really cool, like memory to go back and have, because now we had Maz on the show,
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me when you were talking about comedy, and I was thinking about how much I love the Comedy Store and how busy I've been lately. I'm so grateful that I never gave up. I'm so grateful that I just never said, okay, I can't do anymore.
How close do you think you got?
Oh, I did. Here's the thing. Like, there were times I definitely gave up, but I just couldn't do anything about it. I had nowhere else to go, and there's nothing I could do. You know what I mean? Like, I would mentally give up, but didn't give up. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes I would say, forget it, in my brain, but still keep on doing it.
Right, because you had to pay the bills or...
Yeah, but I was like, deep down, I knew I couldn't stop. I wanted to give up.
Right.
But I never did. I never really did. And I'm forever grateful.
That's beautiful, man. I think that's a perfect way. That's great.
Yeah, so whoever you are out there, whatever you're dealing with, one of my favorite quotes ever was from this televangelist, this guy named Robert Schuller. He was awesome. He used to do this TV show called The Hour of Power. And he had this, one of his great quotes was, tough times don't last, but tough people do.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, just never give up, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and God bless.